being able to control, like, I remember having Mr. Serve on, and he said, man, you guys are our outlets because you guys are black media. We're controlling the narrative a little more with you guys displaying that. What do you think about
control
that?
Black media, control the black dollar. I'm all for it. I want to, people have to realize when we have black media controlling so much of the narrative, pour into them. I think one of the things what we do is, as a community, we don't embrace it as much as we need to.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.
Man, that's dope, man. Like when I think about just you, I remember I had Jay Cruz, I've had Vita Loca, mm-hmm. I've had a lot of different people on here, but one of the things we ask them is like, who was that person? I know she told us a story about Steve Harvey, and mm-hmm. I think Jay Cruz told us the story about him and Jeezy, and when he did something to open for Jeezy. What was that moment that you had a situation where you met somebody that either you were star-studded or either it was something went crazy? What's your key moment?
Believe it or not, I'm gonna give kudos to my brother. I call him Uncle Skip Cheatham.
Okay.
I witnessed a radio personality be the mayor of the city in a sense.
Yeah.
And I never saw that. And even Greg Street. Those are two unks, if you will, that they embraced me. But I saw the power in radio. I saw the power in a personality. And, when you see a PD running around with a Bentley, it's like, what are you doing? Let me figure out what part of the game is. But I also saw the crowd control. I saw how people gravitated to him. But coming into this market, I saw entertainment differently. I remember when you could put a gentleman by the name of like Steve Nice on a flyer and it guaranteed a crowd. I didn't see that growing up in the markets that I was in. So to be able to see a DJ had that level of control, a personality had that kind of following, it was just like, okay. I saw people being the voice of the people. So when I got into radio, I wanted to be the voice of the people, the voice of the community, people that I wanted to be relatable. So you can reach out and touch me and people say, yo, I party with them. I've gone to events with them. I've seen him be a philanthropist, all the different things. So that's kind of been my thing. So I don't think I've ever been starstruck. It was more of just, yo,
I need to get with that.
Yeah.
So being from New York, but being here, did you ever think about going back and DJing in New York? Or did you ever link with like Flex or any of those guys up there?
I've gone back and DJed quite a few times. Not with Flex.
Funkmaster Flex or any of those
not with
people.
Flex, Clue.
Okay.
Clue.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how you kind of merge the worlds.
And one of my good friends who actually hosted one of my parties, because I used to be a party promoter too, before all that, DJ Envy.
Okay.
So Envy and I have done business.
That's hard.
Me being a promoter and booking him as a DJ to now we've, obviously we evolved to a whole nother level. So, but it's always good to go back.
Did y'all do real estate together?
No, we no real estate.
I asked the questions. Like, I'm just asking questions. I'm not.
No.
I love DJ Envy and all of him and Charlamagne them doing. That was one of the highlights of his whole thing now.
And he does great business.
You said business.
I can't speak for his business partners or former business partners.
There you go, former business.
But my brother Envy does great
Shout
business.
out to DJ Envy and them, man. They do a courageous job up there. I always watch them and they consistent as hell.
Yeah.
And they show up to work.
Yeah.
I don't think they get enough credit for showing up. You know what I mean? I watch that part. If you
it's not easy to do a morning show.
People don't be showing up. I tell people don't like to show up, man.
Yeah.
Not as much as you would think. Now I tell people that, and I deal with a corporate job, but the thing is like 85% to 90% of the job is just showing up.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If you show up, you can worry the hell out of somebody. They'll never get rid of you because they don't want to have to try to replace the fact that you show up all the time.
Yeah.
So I'll turn that when I turn now it's YouTube, but whenever you're looking for them, whether it's on Tubi, wherever now, they everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah, people are everywhere now. What do you think about the podcast world or the media world and the way that it pretty much, because at first when you came in the game it wasn't so prevalent, but now that you have it and the way that it has evolved, what do you think about it as far as the way the media surfaces?
I think it's a beautiful space to be in because media is powerful, and as long as you have a trusted source like a Boss Talk 101, it's great to see. It's great to see people evolve. It's great to see how people have different opinions of things. But more importantly, it's conversation and communication, and that's needed. I think if you're living in a silo, if you're not engaged in the social media world, if you're not looking at these podcasts, you're not really in the loop of what's going on. People are not picking up newspapers anymore. People are not reading magazines anymore. this is it. You know, this is where you get your information from. So podcasts, social media, you know, yeah, I still watch the news. Yeah, I still listen to radio. But who's gonna get the information first and get it out there to the masses first?
You right. Them podcasts and them bloggers and them, but they getting to it. It's crazy. Yeah. It's moving fast. Yeah. Faster than ever before, right? So what do you think about the black media prospect of it, like being able to control, like I remember having Mr. Serve on, and he said, man, you guys are our outlets because you guys are black media. We're controlling the narrative a little more with you guys displaying that. What do you think about that?
Control black media, control the black dollar. I'm all for it. I want to, you know, people have to realize when we have black media controlling so much of the narrative, pour into them. I think one of the things what we do is, you know, as a community, we don't embrace it as much as we need to. Pour into it, you know. If people aren't posting, repost, you know, it's hard to get your family and friends to reshare what you got going on. Your biggest fans are your strangers.
That's correct.
That's the sad part about it. You know, if we had our family members, relatives, people that we call family, really embrace us and support what we got going on, we'll be further ahead than we are right now.
You know, I'm glad you said that. I'm real sporadic. Anybody that's my cousin, I'm going to post this part right here. If you don't post this, bro, I'm finna unfollow you on Facebook and Instagram. My family members. I'm talking about my first cousin, my cousin I seen this weekend who said, I can't get a hold of you. Nigga, call me on Facebook Messenger. Nigga, quit playing. Everybody that's on there can call anybody they want to call. So if you don't post this right here, I'm unfollowing you. All my cousins, stand up.
And buy some merch.
And buy some merch.
Support the movement.
Us, you know what I'm saying?
Support it.
That's all I'm saying.
Support it. Shout
out to DJ Kayotik for calling all my cousins out.
Yes, cousins. Support the movement. Come on.
That's dope,
if we did that more, we'll be further along.
You see
the power we have. You know, you see how we can put out these narratives and say, don't shop at Target.
Right.
You see the impact that we have. Mm-hmm. Why can't we say the same thing? Shop at Boss Talk 101.
Come on, man. It's been there for 20 years.
Support the movement. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Unique Fashion's been here for 20 years.
Yeah, Unique Fashion. Get it right? But we here.
Yeah.
That's all. And we're a stand up brick and mortar store, and you don't see that a lot no more. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's the dope part of doing this, man. Like, so man, for you to you're not at the radio station no more.
So
talk to me about how tough that was.
And how long were you there for?
15 years.
Let's talk about it.
This is 15 years of radio, and you mentioned my co-hosts, Vita Loca and Jay Cruz. We all had morning show together.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, but again, you wasn't as prevalent as you needed to be. I only heard Vita Loca because she's a woman, of course.
I was the producer, and I was the fourth mic in the room.
Yeah, we on Boss Talk 101. Yeah, we gonna talk.